Brittany, welcome to the Further Forward podcast.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for having me today.
One, be looking at you because I don't get to see you that often, which is a tragedy in and of itself, but that also means that you were just out there doing your thing. But I'm just really grateful that you've agreed to share your journey, your story, and also the beautiful business that you were building, because I think it's going to be so inspiring for so many people, especially Black women that are looking for community and wellness right now.
Thank you.
Of course. So we're going to start with some rapid fire questions so we can get to know you a little bit better. And I don't know any of these answers either. So this is also a chance for me to get to know you a little bit better as well. So number one, what's your go-to fuel, like meal, smoothie, whatever?
Yeah. I love a nutrient dense meal. If I have a big day coming up, I'll try to start my day with lemon water and
Mhm.
oatmeal.
Okay.
I make my own oatmeal from scratch. I like throw the oats in the pot and like throw my fruit in, all my spices.
Oh,
And
wow.
I know that it's going to sustain me for a few hours. So basically that and fruit.
Okay. Okay. What's your favorite self-care practice?
Um, just finding a quiet spot for myself. No music or anything, like no TV in the background, just having a quiet moment to myself, breathing. Um, yeah. How
Okay.
about you?
Um, I wasn't, I, I think, I think right now it's walking,
Okay.
particularly in the
Yeah.
woods. I take my headphones out when I get into the woods, one for safety, but
Mm,
also when else are you going to hear those sounds, right? Like birds and your feet crunching on leaves, and it's its own soundtrack that soothes me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
nice.
thanks for asking.
And good point about taking the headphones out for safety.
Yeah, folks are crazy out here. You can you cannot
Yeah.
or especially in the woods, I just try to be extra secure, we'll say.
Yes. Yes, I get that.
So what's one Pilates move that you really, really love? It could be mat or reformer.
Mm. I love the roll up. I just think it's sort of an all encompassing movement. It's full body
Mhm.
and I feel great after the fact. So,
Okay.
my spine feels a little more limber, my core feels activated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you are putting a roll up in a Pilates fusion class, do you put it at the beginning of class as a part of a warm up, or do you put it closer to the end once people are more warmed up?
It's definitely at the beginning, but it will be a modified version.
Okay.
So knees
Gotcha.
bent, feet flat on the floor,
Mhm.
and then I'll give students the option to extend their legs.
Okay.
And I do understand that it is challenging. I just want to add that when I first started practicing Pilates, the roll up was something that I could not do. I couldn't do without my feet flying off the ground. And so it's wild to think about now. It's much more accessible movement to me, but I
Yes.
do understand that it's not for everyone.
Right. I'm asking because I'm one of those people that really I just can't do it yet without momentum. I do notice
Hmm.
myself getting better. But I've noticed that when I put it closer to the end, if I'm really warmed up, I have a much better chance of doing it. I know that's not where it belongs in the repertoire. However,
That's okay.
that's where my body sort of ends up being able to do it a little bit better.
And I'm sure a lot of students appreciate that.
That's fair. I think they do, because as I'm looking around the room, I'm like, you're never the only one having your experience. There's always someone else that is struggling through it too. And so as long as people have options, then
Hmm.
we've done our job. Is there a word or quote that really grounds you in the season that you're in right now?
Um, I would just say Probably just to breathe.
Hmm.
Because stopping and, like,
Relatable.
acknowledging your breath is just a really good way to reset your mind and your body.
Yes.
So, it's something that I use a lot in my class, like, "Hey, like, don't forget to breathe," inhale, exhale, but it's also a good reminder for myself.
Right, right. It is actually really funny how often we all forget to breathe, or there's like a subtle hold of the breath, or people don't realize that they're breathing too fast, or just like not putting breath with movement, or it seems like a reminder that we wouldn't need to have since our body is doing the thing, but it's not always doing the thing in service of what we need in that moment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you hope people feel when they leave your classes?
I mean, I hope that they feel stronger,
Yeah.
both mentally and physically, and just are able to identify things that they wouldn't normally think that they could
Mm,
do. I
mhm.
try to make movement approachable and accessible to people. So I want people to feel like they can do whatever they're doing in class.
What's one thing that people don't know about you?
Hmm. Well, some people may know that I dance, although
Okay,
I
yeah, fair,
haven't really
fair.
been in that world, maybe in the past year or so due to an injury. But I think that does surprise a good amount of people when they find out that it is something that I've done for a good
Mhm.
portion of my life and try to dabble in here and there. I was a part of a dance company as well, and I performed for a little bit. So it's something that also brings me joy.
Can you elaborate just for the people who are inevitably going to be wondering, "What kind of dance? What does she mean?" What kind of dance did you do?
Yeah, well, I grew up doing all of the basics like ballet, jazz, point, tap. And as I've gotten older, I've really gravitated toward heels dancing or like
Mhm.
dancing in stilettos. So that's been a fun community to be a part of. So I was in a local company and a performance dance group, and we would perform in front of people. Part of those performances dabbled in nightlife as well. So I was performing late at night, which was fun. Now my body and schedule will not allow me to do that. But it is a fun thing to try. And there's a lot of like all levels heels classes out there. You don't have to have
Mhm.
experience. There's shoes made specifically for heels dancing. So it is really fun. Yeah.
I love that you
If it's
shared
something
that.
you're interested in doing.
Not me, girl, but, like, all not with these bunions on my feet, definitely not,
Yeah.
but I know there is someone listening who wants to try it, so this is your sign to just find a class and go, right?
Yes.
Life is too short.
Say that our most recent event actually centered around dance, and did have the optional heels,
Oh, there was
movement as
optional
part of the
heels too.
experience. Yes,
Okay, alright,
yes.
yeah, I can't wait to get into that. What's one small joy from the past week?
One small joy. Well, today is actually my mom's birthday.
Sure!
And it doesn't even have to do with me specifically, but I love my mom.
And that
And
everyone loves your mom, okay?
yeah, and it is gonna tie into a little bit about, like, our conversation later, so
Right.
being able to celebrate her brings me joy.
Happy birthday, Shar. Shout out to
Happy
Shar.
birthday.
Those who know
Love
her
you.
love her and respect her. She is definitely legendary in this industry. A boundary that you are proud to keep.
Saying no to certain things. I used to be very much a yes person. I would say yes to every single opportunity that came my way, because why not?
Right,
But as
right,
I started accepting all of those offers and opportunities, I realized I just had way too much on my
right.
plate. So in the past few years, I really had to practice setting those boundaries for myself,
Yeah.
and only saying yes to things that truly resonated with me on a deeper level.
Last 2. 1, a risk that you're glad you took.
A risk that I'm glad I took in the past year is starting the Soulful Sister Collective. I'm really glad
Yeah,
that I decided to go down that path.
me too. Me too.
Thank you.
What's one thing you're manifesting for 2026?
Just manifesting things that fill up my cup.
Mm,
Just going along with the setting the boundary and saying no to certain things, but just really honoring the yeses
yeah.
of things that do speak to me on a personal level and bring me joy.
I think when you are living in your joy, that's the time when things really do start to come to you. When you've set the boundaries, you've said the full body yeses, and then you leave yourself open for the right things to come in, and then you have the capacity to go after them, and it's like, there you go.
Thank
So,
you.
okay. Thanks for answering all of those. Now we have to go back. Oh, what are you drinking? I have tea. Are you drinking tea or
I actually have a mix of tea
okay.
and an electrolyte
Okay.
package. Drip Drop is the brand.
Yep, got you. Got you. Okay. I
I've gone through my fair share of electrolytes, and this is the one that I'm sticking to.
my favorite is Liquid IV currently,
Yes,
um,
yes.
but Mark likes Drip Drop.
Oh,
Okay, so now that people have gotten to know you a tiny bit, can we go back? I don't read people's bios because it'll be in the show notes. So, in your own words, can you share with people who you are, how you're coming to us today?
yeah. Well, I'm Brittany. I'm a fitness instructor and community builder. I've been teaching for a little over 10 years now. I teach Pilates currently these days, but I also have experience teaching other modalities. Pilates is just what makes sense to me at this moment. It's something that I am truly passionate about and enjoy teaching. And then I also run the Soulful Sister Collective.
Why don't you go right in and tell us exactly what that is?
Yeah, so the Soulful Sister Collective is a community and sisterhood dedicated to the inclusion and empowerment of Black women. And do that through curated wellness events.
Did you have any idea about fitness, or did you kind of know that this would end up being your path? How did you get here in the first place?
Yeah. Well, I think representation is so important. And growing up, the only representation that I had in terms of fitness was actually my mom, who
Hmm,
is a yoga instructor and she's a sound healer and a Reiki master. So she was my role model growing up, which isn't a bad role model because I do
not
love
at
my
all.
mom.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not sure if I would be where I am right now if it weren't for my mom, if I didn't
Mm,
have that example. Or maybe I would have been an instructor at some point. It could have just been much later.
right.
So I think just having that early representation helped me carve the path that I'm on today.
Did you ever go to her and say, I think I want to do this? Did she try to deter you? Was she encouraging? What were there any sort of words of caution around, being in this industry and trying to make a living, going class to class, right? What did that look like for you?
So I actually started teaching when I was a teenager. So I started
Wow.
very young. My mom took me to my first training. It was actually a Zumba training. So
No
I was
way!
leading classes to kids and adults
Oh
when
my
I was 14
gosh!
years old. Yeah.
Brittany!
And we taught classes together. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I guess that's something that people may not know about me.
Yeah. What? Oh my goodness. So it sounds like it was so wrapped in love and community from when you started.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean I did that for a little bit. I did take a break from teaching and then I discovered bar
Okay.
maybe around the time that I was in college and so I taught that for a few years. I really enjoyed it. And that is what led me to teaching Pilates
Okay.
because bar is inspired by Pilates and yoga.
Right.
And I just wanted to dive deeper into that space.
So, coming to this point where you wanted to build a space for Black women specifically, you said that your mom was your only representation when you were growing up. So, I'm assuming that as you were existing in communities, did you find that you were the only Black girl or one of few? Or, what was your experience as you were coming up? Did you continue feeling like, where are the people who look like me?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was definitely, maybe one of two people of color in the room everywhere I went. I also grew up in the suburbs of Massachusetts, which lacks a lot of diversity.
Yeah,
And so I've been in the city for a few years, but part of the reason that I created this community is because I was also seeking this community for myself.
right,
Um, I've been to my fair share of local events, especially networking events, geared toward Black women. And I realized that Black women are like the most supportive and like warm, welcoming, just people you could imagine.
right.
So why not create that space just for us? And I think the teaching and just being in that environment made it sort of a natural next step.
I think it's important for people to take that in. It's always sort of something that I really resonate with of building what you don't see, because inherently it is aligning with something around your soul and your soul's purpose, but it's also rooted in service, right? And
Mhm.
it's rooted in resistance and activism. And I like seeing activism that's not necessarily always around a fight, right? Like you're
Yes.
not I wouldn't say that Soulful Sister Collective is you fighting for something. I would put it more in the category of creation, of love, of something that's like allowing Black women a soft place to land in their bodies, wearing what they want to wear in terms of clothing, but also our hair protection.
Yeah. I mean, it's just nice to have an hour or two where you could just show up as yourself.
Right.
You're not the only Black person in the room and you're not looked at the color of your skin first. You're just Ashley.
Yes. Yeah. Can I ask why the choice to make it specifically Black women instead of like women of color as like its own bigger bucket? I don't think it's a bad choice at all. I'm just curious of like what was that boundary, I guess, for you?
Yeah. Well, I actually thought about making it a BIPOC community.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because at one point I was gearing that direction because I was worried about people feeling left out.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But more often than not, like us as Black women, like you said, we don't have that safe space for us to land or move our bodies.
Right.
Um, and so I just thought it was important for us to have that space specifically for us because every other space is geared towards other people.
Right.
Um, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did.
I'm glad
I
you
was
did.
worried that might be too specific or too niche, but over the past year, that's just proven to be the opposite.
With me doing DEI work, I obviously hear lots of different perspectives about who should be included in what and why. And I think some people say that when we create spaces for a specific identity, that we're continuing the idea of exclusion, that we need to keep kind of forcing people to like figure it out together, right? I disagree with that because I think there's plenty of other spaces where we have to figure it out together. But there is something about spaces where people share this major part of an identity that, like just feels so nourishing. There's going to be a level of questioning that kind of doesn't even exist, right? No one's going to look at me like I
Yes.
don't deserve to be there or can I afford to be here or whatever. It's just like acceptance at the most basic level. What have been some of the challenges?
I mean, probably the biggest challenges that we've had in terms of hosting events is ensuring that the space that we're hosting our event in aligns with our mission and values or
Oh,
understands it.
say more.
Um, we've had instances where we've held a pop up um, at a specific place and that space maybe wanted to help out with marketing, but didn't market the event in a way that it should have, which is for Black women.
Gotcha.
And so, that creates a problem for us because then we have women who maybe aren't Black that wanna join the event, and I don't want people to not feel welcomed in our space, but I do want them to understand that, like, we're creating this space for Black women,
Right.
for the hour or 2 that we're here.
Right.
So that's probably been, like, the biggest issue. It hasn't happened too many times, but it has happened, and it's all a learning experience, and it also just comes with the territory of hosting, events at a space that, you don't own
Right.
specifically,
Right.
so
Right. Um, have you had to turn anyone away because of identity?
Um, only
Okay.
one time, a man
Okay.
showed up to our event,
Oh,
and it
okay.
is our events are for women, we wanna make sure that our main audience member feels comfortable and welcomed in our
Yes.
space, and
Yeah.
it is, in our slogan, wellness events for Black women. So just, ensuring that that's upheld
Yeah.
when we do hold these events.
For sure. For sure.
But otherwise, I really haven't. If we do have people come and they don't identify as Black and they've purchased a ticket, I'm not going to turn them away. We'll make sure that they understand what the event is for, and who it surrounds. But, I want to make sure that everyone has a good time if they made the effort to come all the way there. And usually people will say something after, like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize this event was for Black women specifically. Like, I'm so sorry. And I'll just be like,
Gotcha.
thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing the space with us. Like, I hope that you had a good time. And then we just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's really gracious.
Hmm.
Um, Something else that I think is important that you've built is that some of your sessions or some of the pop-ups are a dual session where you'll have
Mm-hmm.
movement and then you'll have some kind of other activity. So can you kind of tell me w- what maybe your grand vision is or what you're imagining for Black women?
Yeah. I mean, I just want people to know that they have a place to go to connect with other Black women. I want the community to be used as your resource for people to connect to instructors that they may not
Mm,
know are
okay.
in the area. So
Mhm.
that's really important. Then also just, be able to maybe meet people in the area, find friends. And I found that when our events are coupled with a workshop where people get to sit and chat with each other, or maybe just speak what's on their mind, um, that those events resonate with our community the most. It's great to have, a spot or a space where you can move your body, but it's also nice to have the opportunity to chat with other Black women, because we don't get that opportunity as often as we should in Boston specifically.
Right, right. That's so true. Can you name for folks just a couple the dual sessions that have been led so far?
Yeah. This past maybe like February, we had an event called Move and Manifest. And so it was a dance fitness class coupled with a vision board making workshop. So that was really fun. What else? We also had an event that had a yoga at the center of it. And then we also did guided journaling. And so that
Beautiful.
was really nice for attendees as well. We had an event recently where we did a Pilates class and then also an empowerment workshop. And that was fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm thank you for sharing that because I want people to have a picture in their minds of the full scope of what's possible in the space that you're building. How have you grown as a person through Soulful Sister Collective? Like, who have you become over this past year plus?
I mean, I would just say that I'm more sure of myself, and just going through this experience. Because when I first thought about creating the Soulful Sister Collective, I ran into a little bit of imposter syndrome,
Mm,
sort of questioning, like, who am I to lead a community of Black women?
yeah.
But once I remembered my why, which is creating a space that, is accessible for Black women, I was able to get over that mental hurdle and let go of that
Yeah.
fear. So I would just say I'm a lot more confident in myself as a whole.
Where do you think the imposter syndrome came from? Like,
That's a tough one.
my journals are filled with, "This is why I am like this," but I know everyone's, like, not that level of, but do you have any idea of why imposter syndrome was showing up for you specifically around building this?
I mean, it could have something to do with just growing up in a predominantly white area. I had the representation of my mom, I have my family, but there wasn't a lot outside of that. And so coming to the city, it's much more diverse.
Yeah,
But I mean, I've had to work hard to find my community and then also build this community.
right.
Um, it could be a little perfectionism from being in the dance world. You have to do everything right in terms of choreography. And so, when it comes to, like, starting a community, you feel like there's all of these boxes that you have to check,
Yeah,
or at least for me personally, and I think it's with anything that I do. It's like, am I actually, like, capable of doing this?
that makes
But,
sense.
I've gotten this far, so yes, yes, I am, and so are
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I think that that's important when you talk about representation too, because for when we are talking to white people specifically, or non-black people, I'll say, we're like, black people are not a monolith, right? Like, don't paint us all with the same brush because we come from different places, even though our skin happens to be brown and like this is how we identified, like around this shared culture. And I think that that is true, but then what's also true is that even sometimes within our own culture, we can be exclusionary to each other because we grew up in different ways and have had different experiences. And so you do have, even though you know, you are building something for Black people, you do have to actually work to find the community because just because you're Black doesn't mean like it's gonna resonate with people, and I think that when you grow up in predominantly white spaces or, like, not super diverse spaces, I think you're really aware of, like, your I'm gonna call it brand of Blackness and how sometimes it butts up against other people's
Mhm.
version of the culture too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've found that in fitness as well, like, it is the idea of community has evolved as I've evolved, you
Mhm.
know? How would you say that you are imagining the future of Soulful Sister Collective? Do you imagine it getting bigger in some way, owning your own space?
Yeah, I mean, I do just imagine our community growing. There are some things that I have in mind, but I'm not ready to share just yet.
Okay,
I want it
girl,
to be a
okay.
surprise
Got it,
for the
got it.
future. But right now, I'm just focused on ensuring that everyone feels welcomed in the space that we're creating on a monthly basis. Are they enjoying the classes that we're putting on? Are they enjoying the workshops? Are people getting what they need out of these pop-ups and events? So it's always the like attendees first in my mind. Are they having a good experience?
Oh, beautiful. I asked you in the beginning when we were doing rapid fire how you cultivated the courage to set boundaries. One, what did you do? And then two, are there any tips for women who are like, okay, I need to cultivate the skill of being better at saying no? How do I do that?
Mm. I mean, part of it is just slowing down.
Mm,
I had a very busy season of life.
yeah,
I mean, life is still busy in a
I
different
know.
way.
Yeah,
But to the point where I was, teaching in excess, not really giving myself time off and
right.
time to rest. And it's in those moments of rest where you're able to truly like think and reflect on what's going on in your life. If you're constantly bombarded by like notifications and you have to run from like one meeting or class to the next, you don't give yourself a lot of mental space to think about things. So part of getting over that hurdle was slowing down for me. Um, and then what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, what would your advice be to women who are looking to be able to feel courageous enough in setting their own boundaries?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's going to have a different approach to this. For some people, it may be slowing down. For others, it might just be integrating more things that bring you joy on a daily basis. So you feel like you have more control over your week as a whole. It may be other things, just like getting enough sleep at night.
Yeah.
But also just like listening to that, instinct, your gut, that little voice in your head. Um, Typically, when we're making decisions that don't sit right with us, we'll have like a visceral reaction, right? Like we may feel it literally in our gut or in our chest or something, like your body's telling you no. If you're doing something and it's constantly stressing you out, it probably isn't the right thing for you. So just listening and paying attention to your body and those little cues.
Often the answer is simple and we make it complicated.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
when we're talking about wellness stuff, people never wanna believe that it might be as simple as getting enough sleep or making sure
Mhm.
you're hydrated. But they're like,
Yeah.
"Surely there has to be something more complicated than that." And it's like, "No, that will like, getting rest will change your life." Like,
No, seriously. I mean,
right?
it's changed my life. I need at least 7 hours of sleep. I'm just that type of person. I know
Yeah.
some people can run on less, but, like, I will
Can
not
they
have a
though?
successful day. I
I don't know.
I personally can't. I can't do
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
No,
My day will
same.
not run smoothly if I don't get an allotted, hours of rest, so
100%. So many of us, we do incredible work. Rest is what allows you to kind of like honor your gifts and then allow yourself to actually give them in service of other people every day. So
Mhm.
I loved your answers and it's a good reminder for me. As we wrap this up, any final words or advice, anything that you want to leave our listeners with?
Just do things that make you happy at the end of the day because, it's your life that you're living. And in terms of the Soulful Sister Collective, we're always looking for instructors, wellness practitioners, vendors, and even spaces to partner with. So, if that sounds like something that you'd like to collaborate on, or if you have any suggestions, please go to our website, soulfulsistercollective.com, and
Yeah,
then fill out the contact form,
perfect.
and I'll get back to you.
Where else can people find Soulful Sister Collective?
Yes, we are on pretty much every social platform. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, Threads, even started a TikTok this year,
Oh, hey.
as well as our website. Yes, yes.
Beautiful,
We have it
beautiful.
all.
And if people want to find you to take a Pilates class with you or whatever else you might be doing, where can they do that?
So right now, I teach at a few locations. I teach at Lifetime in Medford, Lifetime Station Landing. I teach at Republic, owned by HealthWorks. And then I also run my own classes out of the Dance Complex in Cambridge.
Perfect. Ah, Brittany, thank you so much for being on this podcast. Thank you for sharing Soulful Sister Collective with us and just all of your beautiful gifts and your beautiful energy, quite frankly. Like you are such a calming person to talk to. I feel like everything's just gonna be all right. So
Aw,
thank
thank
you
you
for
so much,
that.
Ashley.
Thank you.
Seriously. And thank you for having me. This
Of
was so
course.
fun.
Anytime, anytime. All right. So for everyone listening, please make sure you follow Soulful Sister Collective, follow Brittany, support. If you are listening to this episode and you are not a Black woman, then go find a Black woman that you know and make sure that she knows about this company so that she can get herself to a class. And of course, if you know any instructors or practitioners, please direct them to Brittany so that this company can grow into whatever it is supposed to be. So thanks for listening, y'all.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
good one.